For local Hanoians, Hoan Kiem Lake is the most important and well-known place in Hanoi. The center of the city has quite literally grown up around it. The lake is also the center of Hanoi's recreational and social life, in a way that's hard to fully convey. It's less a park, and more a stage where the city performs its daily rhythms. At any hour of the day, you'll find a mix of locals and visitors drawn to the water, some coming to admire the view, others to soak up the atmosphere, and plenty just strolling along the promenade, stopping for a photo or two along the way. From around 5 a.m. every day, the lakeside fills with people before most of the world has had breakfast. Elderly residents practice Tai Chi in slow synchronized groups along the promenade. Joggers loop the 1.8 kilometers circumference in a steady stream. Badminton games break out on any available flat surface. People string nets between trees, or simply play without them. There's a particular Hanoian tradition of older men gathering to do group calisthenics to tinny music, from a portable speaker, completely unself-consciously. By 7 a.m. it disperses, almost as quickly as it gathered, as the working day begins. Every weekend, from Friday evening through Sunday night, the surrounding streets close to traffic entirely. This transforms several city blocks into an open-air social space of remarkable energy. Street performers appear, families spread out picnic mats on the asphalt, teenagers hang out in clusters, and vendors sell snacks and drinks. It essentially turns the lake into a festival ground, 3 nights a week, and the contrast with the weekday traffic chaos is striking. The shaded benches around the lake are a destination for older men who come specifically to play Vietnamese chess for hours. There's a slower, contemplative culture around the lake that coexists with the energetic morning exercise crowd. People who come simply to sit, watch the water, and talk. For younger residents, the lakeside is a default meeting point in a city that has relatively few large public plazas. Couples walk the promenade in the evenings, friend groups congregate on the steps near the Red Tail Hook Bridge, and street food vendors set up along the perimeter selling sandwich rolls and iced tea. On hot evenings, the density of people just sitting and existing together around the water gives it the feeling of an outdoor neighborhood living room. What makes Hoan Kiem unusual even by global standards is that it genuinely draws every demographic simultaneously. Elderly, young, wealthy, working class, tourists, local, without any one group dominating or displacing another. There's no entry fee, no commercial gatekeeping, no single correct cues. A grandmother doing breathing exercises 10 meters from a teenager filming a TikTok, next to a foreign tourist photographing the temple, next to a man selling balloons. And none of it feels unusual. That kind of genuinely mixed public space is rarer than it should be in most cities. Hoan Kiem Lake is one of the most mythologically rich bodies of water in the world. The lake's name literally means Lake of the Returned Sword, and the story behind it is extraordinary. According to legend, in the 15th century, Emperor Laloi was given a magical sword by a divine golden turtle god, while he was still a rebel leader fighting off Chinese Ming dynasty occupation. The sword granted him supernatural power, and he used it to drive out the invaders, and found the Lei dynasty. Years later, while boating on the lake, a giant turtle surfaced and snatched the sword back into the depths, reclaiming it on behalf of the gods, now that its purpose was fulfilled. The story is so central to Vietnamese identity that it's essentially the country's version of the Excalibur myth. Now, here's the part that blurs the line between legend and reality. Until very recently, an enormous real turtle actually lived in the lake. The Yangtze giant soft-shell turtle, one of the rarest animals on Earth, inhabited Hoan Kiem for centuries. Locals called it Ku, Zuwa, great-grandfather turtle, and considered it a living incarnation of the divine turtle from the legend. The last known individual in the lake died in January 2016, an event treated as a moment of national mourning in Vietnam. Scientists estimated it may have been over 100 years old. Only a handful of this species are believed to still exist anywhere in the world. The small temple in the middle of the lake is the most admired and photographed site of Hanoi. Now that you know the legend of the turtle, you probably already guessed that it is the Turtle Temple, or Turtle Tower. It was originally built as a burial temple in 1886 but was later renamed Turtle Tower, to honor Emperor Loloy the legend. The tower is actually built on a floating mound. The lake used to be much larger. It was once a natural branch of the Red River. Over centuries of urbanization and land reclamation, Hoan Kiem shrank from a sprawling waterway to its current modest size. What you see today is essentially a remnant of a former river arm. The surrounding city quite literally grew up around it. In the middle of the lake sits Temple of the Jade Mountain, connected to the shore by a vivid red wooden bridge called Te Hook, where morning sunlight rests. Inside the temple, you can still see the remains of a massive Yangtze soft-shell turtle, likely a previous lake resident, preserved under glass. It weighs around 200 kilos, and stretches over 2 meters. Seeing the physical proof of the mythical creature is genuinely ghostly.